everyone, I hope you're having the most superb day today. Welcome to the Film Insight channel. In today's list, we are going to discuss some of the worst chefs to appear on Hell's Kitchen, so be sure to stick around for that. So, without further ado, let's get straight into the video. Jason Underwood. Appearing on the 4th season of the show, Jason Underwood is a man who you can only describe as the shining example of how not to be. Underwood is a horribly misogynistic man to the highest degree, and all he does is belittle the women around him. He only really cares about himself. He made it very clear from the start that if he won the prize in Hell's Kitchen, he'd have tons of money to buy a stick to beat women with. Why he said that is unclear, but what we do know is that this guy is pure garbage. Aside from these personal aspects, Underwood's cooking skills are nothing to hold your breath on. If anything, he's a terrible chef. A large portion of being a chef, especially in a restaurant setting, is being able to work with your team and communicate. Otherwise, things are just bound to fail. So, when he had to leave during the dinner preparations for urgent reasons, he left his team behind when they needed him most. Things just only went poorly after this. His true reason for stepping out at a crucial point was to have a generous smoke break, but when he finally came back, his team was only able to create a subpar appetizer. When the food was finally served, Gordon Ramsay was very angry at his pathetic attempt at making a risotto, but this was all because Underwood was only thinking about himself. Obviously failing this challenge, he took a shot at the women he was competing against, calling them kids and insulting them. Lazy D'Angelo. Lacey D'Angelo, also referred to as Lazy by the fans of the show, is probably one of the least hardworking contestants in the show's history. Having her in your team is really unfortunate since she's a quitter, not friendly, constantly whines, and barely puts any effort into what she does. Lacey is akin to disease. Once it affects one person, it can easily be spread once you come into contact with them. She was constantly saying negative things, even when winning challenges, which brought a lot of her teammates down. Being awful at the task that the team required her to do, she was left with the easy job of waiting for the dinner services, which she was somehow also bad at. D'Angelo was taking the orders incorrectly and was messing up tickets, which proved how useless and careless she was. Fed up with her BS, the red team she was in decided to kick her out, and she was sent to the blue team. Having a new team made little difference to her attitude, and soon enough, even the blue team gave her the boot as well, eliminating her from the show completely. It took 8 episodes, but boy was it entertaining. SUZANNE SCHLICT. No one, and I mean absolutely no one, likes being around a person who constantly belittles others and sees themselves as higher than. Well, SUZANNE SCHLICT is the type of person who believes that she's better than everyone. She's one cocky, arrogant piece of work. The most comical part is that despite thinking she's at the top of what she does, Schlitt thought that during one of the signature dish challenges, her fontaine risotto would blow the judges' minds. If anything, it did the exact opposite. Chef Ramsay was completely unimpressed at how dry it was, while one of the judges, David, said it tasted like chalk. Even with her work being proven to not be the best out there, she blamed her failure on her own team. The way she saw it, she was the Michael Jordan to the team, carrying them to victory, or that her team were just pawns to help her win. Just like Lazy, she was kicked out of her team and sent to the blue one, who also tried to kick her out but without success. Somehow, she made it to the final 5 contestants but made a horrible dish and was mocked by Gordon Ramsay. Take that. RANJIT BRANDSTON. At first glance, RANJIT BRANDSTON, who is also known as Raj, seemed like he would be a top contestant in the 8th season of the show. He's been cooking for so long, it was even longer than Chef Ramsay, which led to many people having high hopes. Though, his downfall is that he's incapable of listening or communicating with his teammates, and he thinks too highly of himself. Despite the countless days in the kitchen, Brandston is without a doubt still a very mediocre chef. Rather than being a valuable source of knowledge to his team and the guiding light to victory, he only served as a thorn in the back of his team. If there's anything that Raj is good at, is repelling any chance of his team winning the show's challenges. Like when he served nasty looking seafood and vegetable pancakes which looked unappealing to Ramsay. During Raj's final service on the show, he served Chef Ramsay salmon that was cooked in disgusting stock which he swiftly rejected. To redeem himself, he served him raw salmon. This frustrated Gordon beyond belief and he was sent home. What did he do for all these years? Jeffrey DEWBERRY. The man who was mistakenly called Jeffrey Blueberry by Chef Ramsay is possibly almost as useless as Lacey. DEWBERRY has very little culinary skills, if at all, but what's worse is that he's not a team player and would jump at any opportunity to quit. Just like Lacey, he would complain about every little thing and often acted like an immature little child. This even came through the dishes he produced, especially during the signature dish challenge. He served baked spaghetti to Gordon, who met him instantly with only a reprimand, telling him that his dish was something a kid would make. Maybe if he had made a more fine dining-esque pasta like seafood, it would have been more impressive. Well, that will sadly be all for today's video here on the channel. I really do hope you enjoyed, guys, and if you did, be sure to drop a massive like down below and comment your thoughts. Subscribe for more content like this and put on post notifications for instant access to our content. Have a good one, guys.